Namaskaram and welcome to Chapter 15 in our special series Gems from the Gita on FOE Sense. This is Purushottama Yoga. All those who wish to begin learning to chant the Bhagavad Gita may simply start by learning to chant Chapter 15 first. Because not only it is the easiest and shortest chapter to learn, but also the essence of the entire Bhagavad Gita, you can get this in Chapter 15. Chapter 2 also has the essence of the Gita, but being very long may not be very convenient to learn to chant for beginners. But Chapter 15, Purushottama Yoga, is a chapter which is visually so fascinating, and one must be able to close their eyes and visualize the metaphorical description of life as explained by Sri Krishna right at the beginning of the chapter. The visual effects of this chapter can inspire any movie director. Moreover, the description in this chapter gives such a beautiful poetic impact to the scene. One has to simply get into Arjuna's shoes to be able to get the beauty of this description. Now, unlike other chapters, where the chapter begins with Arjuna questioning Krishna, here Krishna begins the chapter with his description of the Ashwatha tree, now commonly referred to as the peepal tree. In Hinduism, in Buddhism and Jainism, the peepal tree or the sacred fig, scientifically named as Ficus religiosa, is considered to be very sacred and is worshipped. Often it is confused with the banyan tree, which even though belongs to the same botanical family, is different. Banyan tree is scientifically called Ficus bengalensis. In chapter 10, Sri Krishna describes his various manifestations and says that amongst trees, he is the peepal tree. Now, the peepal tree is also called as the king of trees. The medicinal benefits of this tree are many. This species is said to live for over 3,000 years, and a significant characteristics of this tree is that its roots penetrate inside the stem, eventually splitting it from within. It starts its life as an epiphyte. Now, epiphyte means any plant that grows on another plant or object above the surface of the ground, having no roots in the soil. An epiphyte grows non-parasitically upon another plant. It derives its nutrients and water from the rain, the air, dust, etc. In this chapter, the first 5 verses describe metaphorically human life with respect to the peepal tree. The Ashwatha tree is also called the Samsara Vriksha. The roots of this tree are upside down. Roots only give strength to a plant by drawing nutrition and water from the soil. Sri Krishna specifically has chosen this tree because he explains that roots being on top represents Brahman, or the supreme being on top, giving us all the necessary nourishment. In any organization too, the organization structure places the CEO or MD of the organization at the top, and he in most cases is responsible for the overall culture and value system of the organization, along with others at the top management. Similarly, in a family tree too, the eldest family member is at the top of the tree, and every other family member are like branches of the tree. Now, Ashwatha means that which is not permanent and is ever changing. Change is the only constant in this world, and that is the truth and reality of life. That is why this tree is called Ashwatha tree, because it signifies the truth of life. This tree is the broadest and largest tree in tropical climates, and this too signifies the expanse of life and the eternity of life. The leaves of this tree symbolize knowledge or the Vedas. Any person who knows the Vedas or the essence of the Vedas is the liberated person. More the knowledge, more enriched our life becomes. Just as a tree fully covered by leaves makes it look more beautiful and provides more shade to those who take rest under it. A society that nourishes knowledge lives dynamically and progresses, always in the right direction. The material world is like that huge Ashwatha tree for the soul. Its roots are going upwards, originating and towards Brahman, being nourished and supported by God. The trunk and the branches that are extending downwards represents all life forms. The branches are the cosmic mind, egoism, 5 subtle elements, and the other cosmic principles which are stated to extend downwards, because as they go downward, they become more and more gross. The leaves of this tree is compared to the Vedas, which actually means knowledge. They formulate its dharma and adharma with their causes and effects, and also show the way to prosperity and well-being in the relative world. The leaves represent knowledge, which when realized in its true spirit, allows the soul to merge with God, and if not realized fully, falls down to continue the cycle of birth and death. Just as one understands the water cycle, similarly one must accept and understand the cycle of birth and death. The branches of this tree extend upwards and downwards, nourished by the 3 gunas, with the sense objects represented by the tender birds. Just as water irrigates a tree, the 3 gunas, sattvic, rajasic and tamasic, irrigate our lives. The buds of this tree become aerial branches and spread everywhere. Similarly, we as human beings, our inclination towards sense objects has a tendency to become victims of carnal satisfaction, not bothering about the higher values towards the Supreme Being. To fulfill desires of the sense organs, the soul gets entangled in this material world of Maya. And the only way to destroy this tree is with the acts of detachment to get over the bondage of life and death. Thank you so much for listening to us. Feel free to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel for more episodes.